If the world is made of thought and we are made of thought, then we can think our way to what existence is. It's the same thing as us. We are simply coming to full self-awareness, to absolute consciousness. Scientists might say, if the world is made of matter and we are made of matter, then what? We can matter our way to what existence is. That doesn't make any sense. We can observe our way to what existence is. That doesn't make any sense either. To observe something isn't to explain it. You then have to think up an explanation of what you are observing, so we are back to thinking. And, perhaps worst of all, it's impossible to observe the cause of the world, the cause of all observables. After all, it's impossible to observe causation. You can think causation, you cannot observe it. You can have causation as a concept, not as a percept. It's conceivable, not perceivable. The differences between a mental universe and a material universe are total. If one is right, the other is automatically wrong. You can think your way to what a thought is, and what matter is. You cannot observe your way to what a thought is, and you cannot observe your way to what matter is. In fact, no scientist knows what matter is. It's impossible to give a scientific definition of matter. Matter is something that scientists observe, or believe they do. What are they really observing? It's not something they conceive, something they define. When asked what time was, Einstein said it was something that you measured with a clock. Of course, that's not a definition of time. That's something you do with time, not something that explains time. Equally, to claim that you can observe matter is not to define matter or explain it. This is a defining problem of science. It is instrumental. It's all about measurements. It is not ontological, definitional, conceptual. It is extremely poorly thought out. It is not coherent. It supports correspondence rather than coherence. It rejects the principle of sufficient reason, PSR. And absolutely none of this ever gets discussed by scientists. Funny, that. Science has never disproved that reality is made of mind. It has merely dismissed the idea, for ideological reasons. Here's the thing. Reason and logic are to do with thinking. How can they even exist in a material world? How can scientific matter think? A universe of mind is a thinking universe. In a universe of matter, non-thought, why would thinking exist at all? Who ordered that? What function does thinking serve in materialism? What's the point of it? What's the point of subjectivity? How can subjectivity exist within a world of objects? That's a category error. Subjectivity is incompatible with a universe of objective matter, but mandatory in a universe of mind, where subjectivity is the defining property of mind. A mind necessarily subjectively experiences the world. Why did materialism become so popular? It certainly wasn't always popular. In fact, historically, most of humanity has totally rejected materialism and the atheism that goes with it. Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." The very fact of thinking is existence. What would existence have to say in order to exist? Exactly the same thing. It thinks, therefore it is. But what is existence? It's a collection of of thinking subjects. Each one exists because it thinks, because it is made of thoughts. And existence is simply the total collection of all such thinking subjects. There is nothing but thought and thinking. That's why this is a mental reality of mind. But we can all think amazing things, exactly as our dreams demonstrate. We can think entire worlds into existence. We can think other people into existence to populate our dreams. We can, so to speak, make souls and give them things to say and do. There is no limit to the power of the mind. Existence exists by virtue of thinking. It could not exist by virtue of being matter. As Descartes pointed out, the first thing whose existence can be doubted is matter, and thus the body and the world. Dreams immediately cast absolute doubt on the reality of scientific matter and everything that comes from it. There is no more powerful idea than that existence exists because it thinks.
Thinking is existence.
And what is thinking?
Well, what is the supreme thinking subject? It's mathematics.
The principle of sufficient reason, the PSR, is the principle of thinking. After all, what is more characteristic of thinking than reasoning? And that is literally what existence does. It reasons, therefore it thinks, therefore it is. And it is mathematics, reason as ontology.